Right, okay, so firstly, I'm sure many of you will be familiar with Zoom, but there is a Q&A button at the bottom of the screen. And throughout this demo, if you have any questions, you can type them in the box on there, and I will cover them off at the end. I'll run through Intermodal Connect, what we're planning, and the platform for about 15 minutes, and then we can have 5–10 minutes of questions if anyone has any. So first, I just wanted to give a bit of background to Intermodal Connect. Obviously this year has been very challenging to bring people together face to face. Informa Markets, company behind Intermodal, has spent a lot of time investing in looking at different ways we can bring our audiences together, so that they can network, share best practice and innovation, and also bring buyers and sellers together. One particular platform Informa has been using a lot this year is called Grip, which is something that I'm going to be demoing today. Intermodal Connect will be a platform that will give our audiences a really great opportunity to connect virtually. So obviously they can do that from the comfort of wherever they are, whether it's at home or in an office or in a cafe. There aren't any tech requirements that anyone will need to take part in this event. It will all be easy to access, and it will allow us to have sellers, exhibitors on the platform, so they can obviously raise their own brand awareness. But we'll also have a great lineup of industry experts delivering content and webinars throughout the day, which people can also take part in and watch. Okay, so I'm going to start by talking through the platform. So I'm just going to share my other screen. So the platform I'm going to show you today is actually another event that Informa have run recently. And I'm just going to sign out. So the platform is web-based. So anyone taking part in the platform will get just a link to join and log in. They just log in with their email and a password which they set themselves. And what I'm currently viewing the platform as is as an exhibitor. So what you're seeing today is essentially what any exhibitor representative would see logging onto the platform. So I'm going to cover the most important aspects of the platform from an exhibitor perspective. So the first thing I'll cover, that when logging into the platform for the first time, the first place really to head is to your own profile. Now, if we click onto my profile here, I can upload a picture of myself, which other people on the platform will see. I can obviously put my details here, so my job title, my company, my seniority, and a bio. And this is just really useful if anyone is looking to find me and connect with me on the platform, to make sure this is populated. Another thing I can do on the platform here under my profile is manage my availability. So obviously this event took place in November, but what I can do in here is mark myself as busy or available at certain times. And then what that will do is when someone wants to arrange a meeting with me, they won't be able to suggest a time that I can't make. So it's just a really useful thing to fill in. Now, the other thing that is arguably the most important thing for exhibitors on this platform is an area called Teams. So if we click onto Teams here, there's a few things on the left-hand side. And the first thing I'm going to talk you through is my company profile. So my company profile on here is set up as Informa Markets, but obviously this can be any company that I'm working for and looking to advertise on the platform. And it's really, really important to have as much information in here as possible. So you can see on my one here, I've not been very good. I've got lots of things missing. So I've got a company name. I've not got my company logo on there. So I would absolutely want to upload that. That's really easy. You can just upload a logo straight from your computer. Some other things you can do on the platform is select your company type. Again, this is really important so that buyers would be able to easily find your company. I can also upload promotional videos. So if I had any product demonstration videos or trailers that I wanted to have on my profile, I can have that on there. Website, obviously really important, so people can go onto your company website or a specific page if they want to find out more. Social media, you can attach your company LinkedIn page on here, and document URL. So if you have any white papers or brochures that you might want people to be able to access, you can host them on your website and include a link within the platform here as well for people to download them. Now I'm just going to show you what this would look like when it's actually all filled in. So just going to go to another company here. Now this is a company called Solar Turbines who have filled in their company profile. So obviously you've got a logo for them and a company name. They've also got a video on here about their company. So it's just a short video which people can watch. And obviously further down here, there's a website, further information, and you can also see any representatives that work for that company listed here. So if I wanted to meet with Emilio, I'd be able to say that I'm interested, or I could send a meeting request. Another thing you can do, which you can't see at the moment because this event's not live, is a company chat, which is really just an instant chat that attendees can use, and all of the attendees for that company will receive that message. So just to give you an example of what the instant chat would look like, it will just pop up on here like most instant chats, and obviously you can talk to them in real time. So it's really useful. A couple of other things, if we just go back to Teams here, that I'd like to share with you today. So we talked about company profile. Another really important thing are team members. So this is where you can invite other colleagues to join the platform and obviously help manage your company profile and be available to meet with potential buyers. So really easy, you just go to invite members, you just fill in some very basic information here, and then your colleague will get an email inviting them to join the platform as a member of your team, and then that colleague will be able to do the same things that you're able to do. So they can also update that company profile. Company chat obviously is on here as well. So that's the live chat I was referring to earlier. And another thing that's really great on the Teams here is inbound leads. So inbound leads is where everyone on the platform that has showed any interest in my company or in any of my colleagues that are on the platform are all collated here. So obviously this is a really sort of handy place to see everyone that's showed any interest. And you can, after the event, you can export this information, which obviously is really useful if you're wanting to follow up with people afterwards. It's worth keeping in mind because of GDPR, when you export this information, you won't be able to export personal information. So that would be their name or their contact details like email and telephone number, but you would be able to see their job title and company. And then obviously if you go into the platform, like we are now, you can obviously see their name. So you are able to see personal information when you're in the platform, just not take it out of the platform. Okay, so the next area I'm going to talk you through here is more what the attendee joining this event might be looking to do. So Intermodal Connect, like I said, will give attendees a chance to network with the industry. So obviously a real key aspect of that is being able to meet with other people in the industry. So there's two ways that attendees can do that. One is browsing exhibitors. So if I'm an exhibitor, my company will be on this exhibitor list. And obviously I can browse companies here. I can also filter the companies I'm seeing by various different fields. So if I was looking for a particular company that offers a certain service, I would be able to type in certain searches in here to bring up those. I can obviously show interest in these companies, and that will basically create almost like a wish list or a favorite list for me, which I can go back to later. Now, obviously, people can browse companies and exhibitors on here, but of course they can also browse people. So for this event, we've got that broken down into a few different categories. So here we have exhibitor representatives. So obviously these are the people representing these exhibitors. You can't see the functionality because this event's finished, but when the event's live, I am able to request a meeting with people that I might be interested in. So at the moment, we're only seeing show interest, but there would be a button here as well saying request meeting if the event was live. If I request a meeting with someone, I will be asked to suggest a time and date. So obviously I will put that on the meeting request, and that will be sent off to the other person. They will receive a notification both on the platform and on their personal email that I've sent them a meeting request. And then they can either accept that, they can come back to me and suggest a new time, or if for whatever reason they're not interested in meeting me, they can decline that. And of course, I'll be able to see their response. If they do accept the meeting, what will happen is when the meeting time takes place, a notification will appear, and you'll basically be able to go onto a video call with that individual, and the video call will take place on the platform. So like I said before, there's no tech requirements, no one needs to download any software. It will be a video call via the platform. If someone doesn't want their camera on or doesn't have a camera on, that's fine. Obviously, it would just be an audio call, and they would be able to live chat with the attendee as well. You can also have group calls as well. So when you're on that call, with that person. If, let's say, the person you're speaking to asks a really technical question and you're not sure the answer, while you're on that call, I could invite my colleague, Pollyanna, and she could then join that call as well. And then there would be 3 people on that call. Likewise, the person I'm meeting with would also have that functionality. Now, if I'm an exhibitor, the main list really that I'm going to be interested in is the attendee list. So obviously you can also browse attendees on the platform as well, which is really useful. And again, just like with companies, you can filter attendee information on here. So for example, if I'm looking to meet a certain category of company, I could tick a field on there, and it would only display people that are relevant. When people register for our events, we will also ask them who they are interested in meeting. And I can obviously also filter that, so I can make sure that they're looking to meet companies that are relevant to what my company does. I can also filter by seniority. So, you know, maybe I don't want to speak to a manager. Maybe I want to speak to someone at director level. So I can easily do that. There's some really good search tools there. And obviously I can click onto people's profiles and find out more about them to make sure that they're the right person. And again, I'd be able to request or send a meeting invitation with these people if the event was live. That information would just pop up on the side, and I would be able to suggest a time and a date with them. So the meeting aspect on the platform is really great. We will have some people maybe that aren't interested in meeting us. So it's really important to, as soon as you have access to the platform, to really browse that attendee list and send as many invitations out with people that you would potentially like to do business with as you can. Okay, so there's a few other areas on this platform that I'm going to talk through on the call today. And one is around the content that we'll be running on Intermodal Connect. So we will have a full agenda of content over the 3 days. And that will be a mix of pre-recorded content and live. So anyone that has access to the platform, attendees or exhibitors, I think would be really interested in some of the topics we'll be running over the course of the 3 days. Obviously, they'll take place at certain times. For the ones that are live, it's literally just a case of adding the session to your calendar, which you can't see with this one because I've already added it to my calendar, but essentially any sessions that people like the look of, they can add to their calendar. That also blocks out that time in their diary. So if someone is wanting to watch a webinar at a certain time and they've added it to their diary, you wouldn't be able to request a meeting with them at that time. So obviously that's quite useful because you know that they'll be busy watching the webinar. So you don't have to send a request at a time that they won't be available for. When the webinar takes place, again, a notification would appear, or they could just go on to event agenda and click onto the session. So this, because the event's taken place, is now a recording of a live session. But if it was live, obviously this video here would be a webinar platform, and all of the audience will be able to watch the webinar live on this platform. It's worth me highlighting as well some of the commercial opportunities we have around our content. So we will have session sponsors for Intermodal Connect. Session sponsors will have branding attached to the webinar. So obviously here we've got an example of a sponsor. So while attendees are watching this session, see that they can express interest in that company or schedule a meeting. And what we will also look to offer as well is opportunities for the sponsor to have branding within the actual webinar as well. So obviously that could be a speaking slot or a commercial played during the webinar or branding opportunities. So this is a pre-recorded video as well. So obviously if anyone misses any webinars, we plan to put all of the recorded content available on demand, which means attendees have an incentive to go back onto the platform even after the event has finished, so that they can watch some of this content and obviously continue to connect with other audience members and exhibitors. Okay. So those are all of the key bits I wanted to cover. Lastly, I'll just talk a little bit more about the branding opportunities within the platform. So obviously within the sessions, there's opportunities there for logo placement. We also have other things like in this bottom left corner here, we have a featured company. So this could be one particular company, or we can have it rotating so that several companies appear. If I'm interested in that company, I'm able to click it and it will take me straight onto that company's profile. When I go onto the exhibitor list, we have certain high profile sponsors featured at the top of the exhibitor list. So obviously they get better visibility to attendees. So obviously that's great exposure. And lastly, I'll just cover some of the AI aspects of the platform. So obviously people can manually look through the platform to look through attendees and look through speakers and exhibitors, but the platform will also offer recommendations. So if you're an attendee and you're looking for a particular service provider, maybe you're looking to buy a particular product, you can declare that at the point of registering for the event, and the platform will then recommend certain solution providers that are relevant. Likewise, if I'm an exhibitor and I want to meet attendees that are maybe looking for certain products or looking to work with certain industries, I will be getting recommendations to meet with attendees that are relevant for me. So this recommended for you section at the top is also really, really useful finding the correct people. Okay. Notice there aren't any questions that have come through. So if there is any questions about the platform, or if there's